over the last 4 or 5 years, when I moved to Washington State, I immediately realized after the first month I made a huge mistake. So I realized I wasn't going to be there long, and I wasn't sure where I was going to go. Back then I was wanting to go to Alabama. And it's crazy because I used to have, before I moved out of Michigan to Washington State, I had visions of moving to Alabama and desires. Well, back then it was Mississippi. I don't know what it was, but something was telling me I was going to move there. So I ended up moving from Washington State to Missouri after living in Washington State for like 2-3 years. My mom was there. I was thinking about Alabama. I wanted to transfer out of my job to Alabama. I actually tried that. That was actually my first choice, but that didn't pan out. Timing. And the funny thing is, because they filled the position that I was going for internally, and then I was looking at it after I moved to Missouri. They kept on putting up for that position, hiring for that position, so it didn't work out. It's just kind of weird. It's just kind of weird how timing is with me. It just doesn't. It's never in my favor. But I ended up moving to Missouri. When I lived there for about 3 years, I severely isolated myself in Washington State and Missouri. In Washington State, I dated pretty good. Like, I dated a lot, so it wasn't complete isolation. But when I say isolation, what I meant by that is letting friendships develop, long-term friendships. I wanted one, and that was like a romantic, but that didn't. There's nothing I can do to make that work. She wanted to found a better choice, I guess, for her. So, and then I would have stayed too. And honestly, like I loved Washington State, but my mindset was I'm leaving. What I didn't like about Washington State, and the reason why I wanted to leave, is because of the politics. It was really expensive to live. I didn't want my kids like being slaves, and that's why I moved to Missouri. I just felt like it was a better standard of living, lower cost, better chance to succeed. I know it sounds weird, but so anyway, I isolated myself. I isolated myself in a lot of places. And strangely, in Missouri, I isolated myself even more than I did in Washington State. I didn't date nearly as much, and I actually found my best friend in Washington State. And our relationship was romantic, but I limited it. I didn't let it progress, and it could have progressed into like a marriage, or like, this is probably like the coolest, awesome person I've ever met. She's like my favorite person, and I still talk to her to this day. Like, our conversations just are so intriguing to me because I can just joke around with her and she's not gonna get offended, and she like, it's just like really, really, I don't get bored, man. Like, my sense of humor and her sense of humor like click so well. So I text her every day. She texts me every day, and like I just talk all kinds of smack, and it's fun to me. It's entertaining. And most of my conversations with women are just not entertaining to me. Most of my conversations with women, it's how do I get physical gratification out of the situation. But it's not with her. When I get a text from her, I get like a dopamine start going. Like I see like I laugh sending her stuff. Just thinking about like what her response would be, like just so dumb, like the shit I send her, just envisioning her like rolling her eyes, even if she's not doing it, but she's doing it with her brain. But I developed a deep connection with this person, and like I hopefully probably for the rest of my life. But I isolated myself, even from my family. When I would go to family functions, and I didn't go to my mom's house all the time. She, and I kind of felt bad. But the reason why I isolated myself from people is because I knew I was leaving. I knew I wasn't going to be in Missouri. And at this point right now, man, I don't have no plans to leave. It's up in the air what's going to happen. But I was always like wanting to isolate myself from people because I knew I was leaving. It's kind of like when I was a kid, when I'd make friends and go from school to school to school every year. I eventually and I think this is what really helped me become more of an introvert, is going from school to school to school to school. I think that really caused a lot of damage to me, amongst other things, as a child, and things I deal with, and I possibly am going to never get over, or I'll be wrestling with until I'm dead. Subconsciously, no matter what I do, I don't know, maybe I'll overcome it. I've overcome a lot of shit, but the introvert shit is, I don't like at the gym, like this lady says hi to me she says bye, and like I walk past the back desk, I'm talking about the back desk, and I really don't even want to talk to her. It's just like, like when you pass somebody, you feel like you have to say something, or like whatever. It's like, I don't want to. I don't even want to say bye. I just want to like not say nothing, but she always says bye because that's her job. But I don't want to say nothing. I just like to slip out the back door or something every day and not have to worry about it, not have to think about it. And I see paths. I see people, and then I go the other way. When I'm taking a walk and I'm walking home from the gym, people walk past me, and I'm like, anxiety. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to acknowledge them. It's just just want to keep going, like I'm invisible. That'd be cool, man. Like I was listening to this one guy off of here, and he was saying like he wishes he was invisible at times, and I wish I was literally like that, like literally invisible at times, where I just, you know, don't say nothing, go do what I gotta do, and most times I am invisible, so it's like I wish I could just be invisible all the time, pretty much. Because I just don't want to interact with random people. It's just so fake to me to be like, it's just so dumb. I just don't like it. Like, how are you doing? It's just like, hey, like, it just seems phony, man. Like, there's nothing behind it. I'm sitting here listening to Nikola Tesla and getting into his autobiography, and, you know, thinking about like deep things. And sometimes, like, my thoughts, I fluctuate to shallowness, and just understanding like society and all these different things that normal people don't even like think about, or the thing is highly boring. But that's stuff I want to talk about. And then my conversation, when I talk about stuff, is just like it jumps from things, I guess, because I get bored and shit. Like, if I could upload my consciousness, or you could see what I was thinking, you would be like, first you would be like, it's crazy how I put scenarios and think about different things, and how unrealistic, how I would like to make it realistic, and it's almost like a movie. And then like sometimes I repeat shit like over and over. And then I jump from thing to thing to thing and thing, and different things I'm thinking about. Random things come. But yeah, it's just like talk. It's just when there's a big group of people, especially people I don't know, I don't want to talk at all. I don't want to be a part of the group. I just want to be like invisible. Like we have a bunch of new people that started, and we have a meeting in the morning, and I just want to be invisible, man. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to them. And it's nothing against them. You know, I'm sure that they're good people, and that's most people. I think most people are decent people, and they're cool people. But I just don't want to talk about average things. I just like talking about food, talking about what I had over the weekend to eat, talking about what I did. It's like, I don't know. It's just so boring to me. These boring conversations. Hey, how are you? Hey, how's it going? Cool, man. Like, yeah, that's it. Like,